What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and beautiful people of the Crasher community? How are you guys doing today? So in this video, we're going to be talking about Logan Paul, and recently he's been really, let's just say, exposing himself for being a really shitty best friend towards a former co-host of his podcast known as imPAULsive, and when we get into it, it's like, yeah, no, it should honestly not be surprising given the type of individual that Logan Paul is and given the type of history that he has here during his time on the internet. But let's get into today's subject. So I'd like to briefly take you guys back to December 17th, 2022, or around about that time, where we have ourselves the article from Dexerto titled, Logan Paul Gets Shredded by Fans After Attacking Best Friend's Religion. Logan Paul calls his best friend's religious beliefs fucking silly. The opening minutes of the show led to a conversation about religion, one that got more and more heated as the two discussed the topic. When Paul claimed that he always lands in a place where he respects the beliefs of others, even if he doesn't agree with him, George pushed back. You land on my face with your kicks sometimes, with the mean words you say. I think you're so giant with your words, you really don't know what you step on when you say things. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way or trying to pull at you. I think you have so much going on in your life and you're so power driven that you'll mow past your friends and family accidentally without knowing. Paul replied by saying, if I say something, I say it intentionally. This led to the therapist conversation that's circulating on Twitter.
Because I'll be honest with you, bro, Jesus Christ fucks.
Oh, God. Genuinely, I know people that hate me, that treat me better about my faith than you, and you're my best friend. So, like, one that really hurt me is you told me I need a therapist because I believe in Jesus.
I just am definitely questioning why we have to perpetuate a belief that is fucking silly. I think it's a silly practice to engage in, and I think it deserves satire.
Now, when it comes to a very sensitive subject like religion, let me just say this, okay? While I have my own nuances and my own beliefs when it comes to religion, here's the thing, okay? If you are a human being and you have a religion, you have full right to practice that religion, okay? If that is what you truly believe in, provided, of course, you are not being a harm to yourself and to those around you or trying to prey on children, then here's the thing, is that you have a full right to believe in and practice the religion that you are aligned with. But when you are openly mocking someone for their religion as seen in the clip, and especially coming from someone who's supposedly a best friend, that right there is beyond disgusting, okay? And that is just one example out of many other examples as to the type of person Logan Paul is and to the type of shit that he gets himself into. But guys, stay tuned because there's a lot more to talk about. Paul called George's belief in Christianity fucking silly and that it deserves satire. Meanwhile, George claims said that genuinely, I know people who hate me that treat me better about my faith than you, and you're my best friend. Further into the debate, Paul claimed that conversion therapy is something your church does in response to George's assertion that if you do not love thy neighbor, and that means gay or straight, then you are not a child of God. That is literally quoted in the Bible. George would wrap up the conversation by saying, as much as this conversation is uncomfortable, I'm very proud of us, and I'll tell you why. Because nobody else would have the balls to have this kind of conversation out there, and they moved on with the rest of the show. Now, I know that wasn't the entire article, but I wanted to showcase enough context from that article to give you guys a brief understanding as to where this all is going. So now when we fast forward to around May 31st, we have ourselves this article titled, George Janko says he's moved on from toxic imPAULsive as Logan and Mike talk shit about him. Now, the piece I want to focus on the most out of this article goes as follows. Most recently, Logan and Mike appeared to take a few more digs at George during episode 380 of imPAULsive, including a section where Logan was muted when making a comment about views. George Janko says he's moved on from toxic imPAULsive. Many fans quickly assumed that was in reference to George and passed it on to him via social media, though there was another where Mike made a a joke about the third chair, the spot which George used to have that was a little less subtle. Well, he has since responded to those. To the impulsive fans, I'm so sorry I can't speak about things. Not my choice, in parentheses, George said on May 30th. I do love you guys, and for those of you sending me the clip of them talking shit, it's all love. I've already moved on from that toxic environment. It's interesting to note that George had previously stated that he would talk about the goings-on between himself and the impulsive crew, but that stance appears to have changed. It remains to be seen if we'll ever get an official word from either side, though. Now, there is a pretty big item to unpack from that part right there, because it's very interesting how he once wanted to express his side of the conflict, but now all of a sudden, he isn't going to be expressing his side of the conflict, and in brackets, not my choice. Seems like an NDA type of bullshit to me. And if it's not an NDA type of bullshit, maybe it's out of intimidation, maybe he was threatened behind the scenes. I don't know, but I find it really, really suspicious that his stance suddenly changes, where he went from wanting to talk about it to suddenly not being able to talk about it. It's kind of interesting when we begin to piece everything together. Now, another thing I want to quickly add to this video is now we're at the point now where George Janko's name allegedly blocked from impulsive podcast comments amid feud. George Janko's name blocked from impulsive comments. These commenters say that if you make a comment with George's name and log out of your account or use incognito mode, you won't see that same comment on the video if you sort the comments by newest first. However, if you purportedly make another comment without using George's name, it'll show up when you log out. Taken from a post on Reddit, we have ourselves, they added automatic filters to hide your comment if you type George's name in the comments. I'm actually dead, LMAO. How to test yourself. Create a comment in their latest impulsive video containing George's name, copy the URL of the video, paste the link in an incognito window, or simply sign out of your account and open the page again. Sort comments by newest first. The reason you need to open an incognito window or sign out of your account is because if you are signed in, your comment will be displayed to you, given the illusion that your comment is showing for everyone when in fact it's only visible to you. To confirm it is George's name that is blacklisted and not an issue with your account, you can type another comment without mentioning George's name and then follow the same steps above. You'll notice your comment shows up this time. You can try the trick for yourself if you like. We gave it a shot here at Dexerto and came to the same conclusion. Our comment referencing George was not visible when logged out or incognito mode, but another comment without his name could be seen. So that right there is also another thing to add on this situation. It seems like Logan is so freaking soft, where it's like you can't even mention his ex-best friend's name anymore, despite the fact he's the one that initiated this bitch-ass shit in the first place. Wow. And I'm really shooting from the hip when I make the following statement. Logan, while I may respect your athletic abilities, you fucking suck as a person. You may not know it, you may not want to acknowledge it, but one of these days, Logan Paul, my boy, all of the sins that you have committed, it's eventually going to catch up to you. It's eventually going to catch up to the point where you have no other choice but to acknowledge those sins and essentially have your own judgment day. I'm not a religious person myself, but I would never go out of my way to the lengths that you have to shit on someone because of their religious beliefs. And here's the thing, I don't even know this George guy, but it seems like I treat him better than you do, and you're supposed to be his best friend. But I guess that right there kind of writes itself out, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I guess that right there is what has essentially happened, you know? This is the type of person that we are dealing with. We knew this for years, but for those that are new here on the block that don't know who Logan Paul is, well, congratulations. You got your first front row seat type of lesson as to the type of individual that he is. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's enough out of me for this video, but don't be surprised if in the near future, there is another video to address Logan Paul. But with that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that for right now. These are just my own opinions and observations based on the subject matter presented in the video. What do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Either way, I always love to hear back from you guys. That's it for the video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for your time as well. point in viewing this video. Have yourself a damn good one, you beautiful people. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and I will see you next time.